play with the butterflies. Mesmerized, mesmerized by you.
Hey you guys, and welcome back to Clips and Closings. Now each Wednesday I react to a real estate leader's clip and break it down from the behind the scenes side as your favorite transaction coordinator and virtual assistant. Now today we're featuring closing attorney Tiffani Hawes. Now this reel is a perfect example of what happens when the lender communication isn't tight and the file starts to stall. Now I'm going to play the whole clip. It's not that long. And then I'm going to share with you what I do as a buyer's TC to keep this exact situation from turning into pure chaos. All right, guys, let's watch.
So I have this file where the buyer was using financing to purchase a property. Apparently their lender ghosted them, really didn't respond to stuff, and their financing contingency expired. Now, I don't know the truth. I don't know if the lender really did ghost them, and if they did, it's unfortunate. However, you and your agent have to make sure that you're still abiding by those financing contingencies. So getting a new lender, whatever. So on this one, they were out of financing contingency, and now the seller wants the earnest money, and there's nothing protecting the buyer's earnest money. So they want me to send out a 10-day letter letting everybody know that the earnest money goes to the seller. So I review the file. I'm like, man, this earnest money is not protected. So I am emailing everybody to say, hey, the earnest money is not protected. It's $5,000. The buyer emails me and he's like, hey, show me some grace. It was my lender. They didn't respond. It wasn't me. I gave them everything that they needed, whatever. And I feel bad. But the problem with that is that the contract does not care about whether your lender was a good lender or not. The financing contingency is there to protect your money. And if your money is not protected, it goes to the seller, no matter who dropped the ball, right? Unless the seller dropped the ball and defaulted, then it will go to you. So as a buyer, as an agent, you have to make sure that you are monitoring these deadlines. And if you're working with a lender that's not responsive, now I don't know if this is the true story because stories get mixed up. But if you're working with a lender that's not responsive, then get another lender. As an agent, if your buyer is not listening to you to get another lender, put it in writing like, hey, I'm advising you to get another lender, because if you don't, you're going to lose your earnest money. And I had to explain to the buyer, like, he's asking me for grace, but unfortunately, I'm not the one that can give him the grace. I have to follow the contract. So you got to call the seller. You got to let the seller know. And ultimately, the seller can decide, hey, well, let's split the earnest money. Or the seller can just flat out say, no, you defaulted on the contract, and I'll keep the earnest money. So make sure you're following your deadlines. Make sure your agent knows your deadlines, and work with people who you know are going to be communicative and do the right thing.
Now see, this right here is so real. You know, when the lender goes quiet or moves slow, buyers panic, sellers lose patience, agents get stuck triaging, and deadlines start slipping. Now, from the buyer side TC position, my job is to make sure that this doesn't spiral. So the very first thing I do once a contract is accepted is set the tone with a clear timeline. So every critical date goes on paper. Earnest money due, inspection window, the loan app deadline, the appraisal order target, the mortgage commitment, the CD target, and of course, closing day. So that one sheet doesn't just live on my desk. It gets sent to everybody. So I send it to the buyer, the agent, the lender, and the attorney. So nobody can say, I didn't know. Now, if it's not written, I'll be honest with you, it's easy to miss, okay? So next, what I like to do is set communication expectations with the lender. So on day one, they know that I expect a weekly status update by Friday at noon. And in that email, it should cover the conditions, documents, and whatever the next milestone may be. Now, if I'm not getting a response within 24 hours of that, I just like to send a polite nudge And if it goes 48 hours, I like to escalate by looping in the processor or the branch manager. Now, it's not about being rude. It's about just keeping that file moving and protecting the buyer's timeline. Now, I also make sure that all the documents are in early. So within the first 48 hours, I confirm that the lender has the income docs, the bank statements, letters of explanation, HOA documents if we need them, title information, the works, all of it. Now, if something's missing, what I do is flag it right away, because we'll get it later always turns into we're delayed. Now, appraisals are another place where deals tend to get stuck. Now, what I like to do is push to have it ordered within 72 hours of the loan application. And behind the scenes, I build in like a 5-day buffer. Now, if it's not scheduled on time, what I'm doing is following up daily until it is. That way, if there is a hiccup, we already have that cushion in there, Now, here's the big one, the mortgage commitment. So 10 days before the deadline, I like to start a countdown. So T-minus 10 days, T-minus 7, T-minus 5. And if conditions aren't clearing, what I do is draft an escalation email for the agent so they can send or either have an extension addendum ready before the clock runs out. So that way there's no last minute scrambling, no begging the other side after the deadline has already passed. And let's be honest, sometimes a lender just goes silent. Now, when that happens, I like to keep a log of every outreach. And then I escalate with a professional but firm paper trail. So it may sound something like, team, we are 5 days from commitment. Please provide today's status, outstanding conditions, and appraisal ETA. Our goal is clean documents to the attorney by whatever that deadline date may be. Now, having that documentation makes people move because it's no longer just a conversation. It's accountability. And if worse comes to worse, I always like to keep a backup lender warm, With the buyer's permission and the agents, I share just enough basics so that if we need to pivot quickly, they're not completely starting from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Having that option in your back pocket can literally save a deal. So to Tiffany's point, yes, lender delays are very real. But with the buyer side TC running the dates, setting expectations and escalating early, you can prevent most of the drama before it even starts. Now, the way I put it to my buyers is simple. I tell them I watch the dates so you don't have to. So, sis, drop me a comment and tell me, what stresses you out most about the loan process? Is it the appraisal, the mortgage commitment date, or those last minute conditions? I want to hear from you guys. And don't forget to like this video, share it with an agent friend who needs fewer fires in their business, and make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss next week's season finale. And for my agents watching, since I work with lenders and attorneys every week, I know exactly where the delays are coming from, okay? That's why I created my Close Day 1 Kit and Agent Bags checklist. And you can find it in the description below. And downloading the Agent Bags checklist unlocks my Close Day 1 Kit. So you can see the exact steps that I use to keep files clean and delays moving smooth from start to finish. All right, guys, well, that's it for today's episode. If you stayed till the end, I truly, truly appreciate you. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of Clips and Closings. I will see you guys next week for the season finale of Clips and Closings. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye.